Hi, I'm Alex Pault, and I'm here today at the Public Tech Connect event with Mark Pegalou. He's General Manager and Vice President of the Connectivity Business Unit over at Qorvo. Well, I mean, connectivity is really the key today, isn't it?
Yes, that's really important. I think it's going to be even more important now that there is this need to fuel all the AI engines with more data, but you have to do that in a very efficient way.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, because when you think about it, everything powered today is becoming smart, and everything smart today is becoming connected. And that connectivity could be wireless, it could be line of sight lasers. There are tons and tons of ways to connect, but it also has to be efficient and cost effective and optimal and function in all kinds of circumstances.
I couldn't say it better. And indeed, so at Qorvo, you know, we already live for connectivity. Qorvo is covering very, very different types of connectivity, wireless connectivity. We are in most of the smartphones in the world, in a lot of broadband telecommunication equipment. But specifically today, we are going to focus on connectivity for IoT devices in smart home to deliver a smart living.
Well, you know, that's the next big thing, right? Because people are like, when am I going to get my cool devices that do whatever I want, when I want? But that also requires connectivity and logic.
Yes, it does. And, you know, logic is one thing, but what is really important is because you are touching consumer, is you want the user experience to be really, really simple, really, really good. And sometimes, you know, as engineers, we forget about that. We focus on the technology to be the best in technology, but it doesn't really matter, right? What is important is when you introduce a new technology, if possible, it has to be, you know, almost invisible for the end customer and just deliver, focus on the value proposition and how it improves the life, you know, of the consumer.
When it comes to smart home, I see it as like almost a two-tier situation. You've got the user-oriented stuff that on-demand smart home, let's call it that. And then we've got the stuff that always has to be smart, like the refrigerator and the air conditioner and the infrastructure of the house. Do you address both sides of it, or is it for everything? Or?
So it's potentially with everything, but we have a specific focus on our side for the connectivity of sensors or actuators, because, you know, we think that this is going to make the difference in a smart home soon. And there are very nice evolution in a smart home with Matter as a new way of defining a protocol and an interface between the physical world of the devices and the data formatting, so that, you know, you can have the same data formatting for software developers.
Right. So you're saying your solution is Matter compatible then?
It is. So really, we are focusing on Matter. So it's Matter compatible, but we design our chip, which I have an example here. So it's pretty small, but we design it in a way that we take into account that there are some pre-existing solutions using Zigbee, for instance, and you need to offer a transition to the customers and, of course, to the developers who are direct customers. So that's why this chip is supporting not only Matter, but it does support BLE and Zigbee. So, you know, no matter what, if I may on the word, no matter what, this chip will support all the combination.
No pun intended. So, well, but that is the criticality, though. I mean, unless there is a secure connection that the user doesn't have to focus on so much, because the moment you make it a difficult connection, you might not have security, you might not have proper connection. The moment you challenge the user, you start complicating things.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's the best way to block the adoption. So, you know, focus on the user experience, easy installation. You know, for instance, we have a few nice features like, you know, it doesn't matter where you put your sensor, you will get a guaranteed connectivity. You don't have to be an engineer to test. Do I have RF signal here? The problem with sensor is not like a mobile phone or a laptop where you cannot come closer to a hub or to a Wi-Fi hotspot. You know, it's fixed, right? You need a sensor in a specific place. Well, it has to work, right?
Right, exactly. It's not like you're going to, the sensor doesn't work where I need it. Let me put it somewhere where it works, but I don't need it.
Exactly. There is another aspect which I think you touch on is, you know, we need to build trust with consumer, and it comes with security and data privacy. So that's a strong element of our system on chip, is we deliver this really guaranteed privacy or security on the data. But also all those chips work with software and embedded software. So the software is secured as well. And we offer the possibility to upgrade the software. So there is an aspect which I think is going to be more and more important for consumers is sustainability. Well, first, when you don't want to spend too much and every year change your devices. So if you have the ability that to plug a hardware and it's going to last multiple years on the battery, and then you will get over time some new features thanks to this upgrade and secure upgrade software, then it gives you a very true value proposition.
Well, and that's also very important to point out is today a solution can't just be a hardware solution. There has to be a software component, an upgradable, scalable software component, something that you can modify downstream, or else the hardware becomes useless.
Yeah, you're completely right. I mean, and it's a fact that 80% of the developers are software developers now. So there are not a lot of RF or hardware engineers. So if you don't adapt, then you miss the market.
So now, tell me a little bit more about the chip. So it's primarily a connectivity chip. How much logic is on the chip? How much does it have to communicate with other devices?
So on the chip, we have all the RF elements to be able to communicate with Bluetooth, with Zigbee, with Matter over Thread. But we also have all the computing capability. So computing first for the protocol, but also for the application of the customer. So with this chip, you can directly connect your sensors. You don't need any kind of additional...
No coprocessor.
No coprocessor. It's all built in so that the developer can develop their end application directly on the chip.
Just run it right off the chip. So it automatically has built-in connectivity out of the box.
Right. And obviously, we provide development kit. So today we are starting the sampling of this new platform. It's the best in the class for low power in integration, and so design kit, development kit are now available, and so that's the first of a long family, we hope, for this kind of chips.
Which a good question. So what is the next step with this family?
So that's the secret right now. We're not going to talk too much about the roadmap, but right now we are offering a platform, but there are different types of needs, a complexity. So we want to offer a portfolio to the developer so that they can already optimize different parameters between performance and cost. And so we'll have this with different computing capability, memory capability, or interfaces.
How many devices is the current family? How many stages in this processing capability do you offer?
So today this is the fourth generation in this type of technology, but this is the first time we offer such an advanced technology in the form of a system on chip. So this is really the first one that we are launching this one. So, of course, next year there will be more news. And it goes very well actually with an additional technology we also provide at Qorvo. It's called UWB. And UWB, if you heard about it, it's kind of a wireless technology which is used to provide a very accurate distance measurement.
Yeah, well, you can use ultra-wideband for that. Can you? Yeah.
And ultra-wideband has been used, for instance, in car security, so digital car key. It's basically, a lot of the phones now have UWB, and we serve smartphone customers. Qorvo is one of the big customers for us. But you can open your car and close your car just with your phone in your pocket. So the same technology applies to, obviously, access control in buildings, in a smart home. But also UWB has a radar capability. So it means you can do presence detection in your room and optimize as well, all the other equipment, because you have, you know who is in the room, whether, it's an adult, it's a child, it's a pet, and all that.
Well, and also when you think about keyless entry and remote entry, it works. It's an issue with cars and it's an issue with buildings. You don't want it to open too soon either. You want it to open right when you're there.
Exactly. Yes. And first, initially, why car has implemented this is because distance provides an additional element of security. So yes, there is a convenience. It has to open when you are, at the right distance. But also, you want to make sure that nobody is doing any kind of replay of your signals. And that's what UW brings as a uniqueness.
Very nice. So. Are there any other elements or aspects of that device that we haven't talked about yet that you want to bring up for the audience?
I think we've touched on most of them right now. So just want to reiterate that we are really seeing the Matter and the transition to Matter happening now. So Qorvo is fully supporting all the standardization effort, interoperability effort in the market. And we have this very strong background of RF in general at Qorvo for very complex systems. And we leverage all of that to try to bring, a very seamless user experience.
Well, that's the goal, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you want to leave our audience with any final thoughts before I let you go?
Well, first I want to thank you, Alex. I think it's very nice to have this opportunity. I think maybe I would invite the audience maybe to check on the social network about Corvo and the website.
Corvo.com, right?
It's corvo.com, and we are building now a pretty interesting forum for developers. So all the feedback are welcome. We are here to listen to the customers and the developers and make sure that we improve over time.
Very cool. Thank you so much, Mark, for taking the time to be with us today. I really appreciate it that you give us the time to chat.
Thank you, Alex.